Good evening and thank you. I mean, it's a cliche, but I don't think I deserve. I don't think I deserve it. And there's no journey as such. I'm still a toddler, even though I'm pretty old in my late 50s, 57 to be precise. But since I have to say something, let me say. I mean, a lot of people mistake me as a wizard of finance and economist, etc., etc. I'm not like that at all. I'm a student of English literature. And in the 80s in West Bengal, there are not too many jobs for an English literature student after post-graduation. So I tried in a college. I didn't like it. For 6-8 months I taught. I didn't like it. And then I was trying to prepare for my civil service exam because my elder brother was into civil service. I failed. And then somebody said, Times of India journalism is pretty interesting. It's a good job. Why don't you try that? And I did, and I for whatever reason, I was successful. I had nobody in Bombay, then Bombay, now Mumbai, so I took Gitanjali Express, and after 40 odd hours, it came back, it landed in VT station, and those who are familiar with Times of India, you know that it's just about 15 meters away from VT station. You cross the road and get into Times of India. I didn't even know that. There's no Google Map in 1985 end. So I went from the other gate from the GPO. I polished my shoe at 50 paise and took a taxi at 450 rupees, 4.5 rupees. That taxi took me all the way to Reserve Bank of India and took a turn and on DN Road and brought me at Times of India. So, and then I found that this fellow, I mean, there's full of people on typewriter. So I thought he's a full of typist. I do not know what is to be done. At the end of the first day, there was a gentleman called Patanjali Sethi. He was the trainer. I asked him, and in the evening, sir, where do I stay? He said, that's a part of your training. We don't know. So 2 days I lived in Times of India in the waiting room of the VT station, paying 10 rupees extra. And then I got into a sort of CD guest house of Goregaon West, where a lot of film extras used to stay. So I just somehow I used to pay 10 rupees to one person, and plus over the weekend I had to buy those days, I think Solar number 1 whiskey, a quarter whiskey, some 35 or 40 rupees. So I had to pay that, and this gentleman was a film extra. He typically used to open a gate. In some Hindi film, you will find that Jamindar son coming drunk at night and some bearded guy opening the door. He was that person. In every film, he used to get some 10-15 days, some 500 rupees those days for opening the gate, something. So I used to pay him 10 rupees, and over the weekend, I used to buy a bottle of whiskey for him. So that's how I started. I did not know anything about finance. And somehow, I was doing film review and theater review and other stories and all. And then somehow in mid-50s, I was told that I had to start doing banking. That was my initiation. And then, just one more minute, then I am little adventurous by nature. Sometime in 2011, one publisher asked me that, why don't I try a book? It worked out well, first book, and second book got me into trouble. It was on shadow banking. Sahara filed a 200 crore defamation suit against me. And 6 months I had to fight, first in High Court, then in Supreme Court. I lost 10 kilos of weight, all gray hair, etc., etc., but I stood by the ground. And that's it. I am here, so I'm still learning. I'm still a cobbler. And one of the reasons I came to listen to Dr. Jalan, I started my banking career when he just took over as governor. So thank you, Dr. Jalan, and thank you, everybody. Thank you.